Welcome to the Executive Order Audio Library, where we read Trump's executive orders in full so you can stay informed about what they actually contain. If you find this resource helpful, please like this video so others can find it too. To stay on top of future executive orders, please click subscribe and allow notifications so you can be alerted when new recordings are available. Imagine a policy designed to stop potential terrorists and national security threats before they even set foot in the United States. That's what this order purports to do. This executive order strengthens extreme vetting procedures to prevent the entry of individuals who may pose a threat to national security or public safety. It mandates stricter immigration screening, identifying high-risk countries for potential travel bans, and enhancing oversight of foreign nationals already in the U.S. Supporters argue this measure is essential to stop terrorist infiltration and protect American lives, while critics claim it unfairly targets specific groups and could lead to discrimination against refugees and immigrants. The order also calls for stringent reviews of visa programs to address vulnerabilities and ensure that no foreign nationals exploit U.S. immigration laws for malevolent purposes. We'll hear Trump's own words in this full reading of Executive Order 14161. This is a reading of Executive Order 14161, protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. By the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, including the Immigration and Nationality Act, INA, 8 U.S.C. 1101 et sec., and Section 301 of Title III, United States Code, it is hereby ordered. Section 1. Policy and Purpose. A. It is the policy of the United States to protect its citizens from aliens who intend to commit terrorist attacks, threaten our national security, espouse hateful ideology, or otherwise exploit the immigration laws for malevolent purposes. B. To protect Americans, the United States must be vigilant during the visa issuance process to ensure that those aliens approved for admission into the United States do not intend to harm Americans or our national interests. More importantly, the United States must identify them before their admission or entry into the United States. And the United States must ensure that admitted aliens and aliens otherwise already present in the United States do not bear hostile attitudes toward its citizens, culture, government, institutions, or founding principles, and do not advocate for, aid, or support designated foreign terrorists and other threats to our national security. Section 2. Enhanced vetting and screening across agencies. A. The Secretary of State, in coordination with the Attorney General, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the Director of National Intelligence, shall promptly 1. Identify all resources that may be used to ensure that all aliens seeking admission to the United States or who are already in the United States are vetted and screened to the maximum degree possible. 2. Determine the information needed from any country to adjudicate any visa, admission, or other benefit under the INA for one of its nationals, and to ascertain whether the individual seeking the benefit is who the individual claims to be, and that the individual is not a security or public safety threat. 3. Reestablish a uniform baseline for screening and vetting standards and procedures consistent with the uniform baseline that existed on January 19, 2021, that will be used for any alien seeking a visa or immigrant benefit of any kind. And 4. Vet and screen to the maximum degree possible all aliens who intend to be admitted, enter, or are already inside the United States, particularly those aliens coming from regions or nations with identified security risks. B. Within 60 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the Director of National Intelligence shall jointly submit to the President, through the Assistant to the President for Homeland Security, a report. 1. Identifying countries throughout the world for which vetting and screening information is so deficient as to warrant a partial or full suspension on the admission of nationals from those countries. And 2. Identifying how many nationals from those countries have entered or been admitted into the United States on or since January 20, 2021. And any other information the secretaries and attorney general deem relevant to the actions or activities of such nationals since their admission or entry to the United States. C. Whenever information is identified that would support the exclusion or removal of any alien described in subsection 2B, the Secretary of Homeland Security shall take immediate steps to exclude or remove that alien unless she determines that doing so would inhibit a significant pending investigation or prosecution of the alien for a serious criminal offense or would be contrary to the national security interests of the United States. Section 3. Additional measures to protect the nation. As soon as possible, but no later than 30 days from the date of this order, the Secretary of State, in coordination with the Attorney General, the Secretary of Homeland Security, and the Director of National Intelligence shall also A. Evaluate and adjust all existing regulations, policies, procedures, and provisions of the Foreign Service Manual or guidance of any kind pertaining to each of the grounds of inadmissibility listed in the INA to ensure the continued safety and security of the American people and our constitutional republic. B. Ensure that sufficient safeguards are in place to prevent any refugee or stateless individual from being admitted to the United States without undergoing stringent identification verification beyond that required of any alien seeking admission or entry to the United States. C. Evaluate all visa programs to ensure that they are not used by foreign nation states or other hostile actors to harm the security, economic, political, cultural, or other national interests of the United States. D. Recommend any actions necessary to protect the American people from the actions of foreign nationals who have undermined or seek to undermine the fundamental constitutional rights of the American people, including but not limited to our citizens' right to freedom of speech and the free exercise of religion protected by the First Amendment, who preach or call for sectarian violence, the overthrow or replacement of the culture on which our constitutional republic stands, or who provide aid, advocacy, or support for foreign terrorists. E. Ensure the devotion of adequate resources to identify and take appropriate action for offenses described in 8 U.S.C. 1451. F. Evaluate the adequacy of programs designed to ensure the proper assimilation of lawful immigrants into the United States and recommend any additional measures to be taken that promote a unified American identity and attachment to the Constitution, laws, and founding principles of the United States. And G. Recommend any additional actions to protect the American people and our constitutional republic from foreign threats. Signed, Donald J. Trump, The White House, January 20, 2025. This concludes the reading of Executive Order 14161, protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. To stay on top of future executive orders, please click subscribe and allow notifications so you can be alerted when new recordings are available.